In the quiet village of Gungupur, mornings usually woke to the chirping of birds and the gentle rustle of leaves. But on one particular morning, the calm air was pierced by tiny, desperate bleats. A mother goat named Kameli lay in her cozy corner of the yard, snuggled in the warmth of her soft hay. Sleep was her sanctuary, and she had no intention of leaving it. But hunger knows no sense of timing. Her children, their tiny stomachs growling from an empty night, nudged her relentlessly. "Mother, we're hungry! Please wake up!" they cried, their little voices carrying urgency and frustration. Kameli groaned, irritated at the early disturbance. Why did they have to bother her so early? Her dreams had been peaceful, and now they were shattered. She tried to push them away, demanding silence, insisting they sleep just a little longer. But hunger is stubborn, and so were her children. They didn't care about her comfort. They only cared about food. Kameli's irritation boiled over. "Where did all the food I brought yesterday go? You've eaten it all?" she snapped. Her children nodded sheepishly, admitting to their greed. The mother goat sighed. Their tiny stomachs seemed bottomless. No matter how much she brought, it was never enough. Reluctantly, she forced herself to rise, grumbling at the unfairness of life. Little did Kameli know, this morning would set her on a journey that would teach her the value of hard work, responsibility, and love. A journey filled with perilous obstacles, unexpected friendships, and a painful but eye-opening realization that shirking work and seeking shortcuts might bring temporary comfort, but the cost could be far greater than one ever imagines. As she stepped into the world beyond her yard, the air felt different, thicker, heavier, alive with challenges. And in that moment, Kameli's life began to change forever. Kameli wandered toward the forest near her village, hoping to find something to feed her children. The memory of last night's empty stomachs gnawed at her conscience, yet the thought of walking long distances made her weary. She was no stranger to idleness. Day after day, Kameli had preferred resting over searching for food. Last time, she had managed to scavenge enough in the forest to survive, but today, the forest was different. The animals there were cautious and unwilling to share. As Kameli trudged along, her eyes fell on a magnificent orchard in the distance. Fruit-laden trees stretched as far as she could see, their branches heavy with ripe bounty. Her heart leapt. This could be a miracle. She hurried forward, imagining the delighted faces of her children as they finally had a hearty meal. But before she could even approach the trees, a large bull stepped in her path, blocking her way. "You cannot take these fruits without paying," the bull warned, his voice stern but fair. "They are not charity. If you wish to eat, you must work." Kameli's heart sank. She had no money, no way to pay. She pleaded with the bull, explaining her hunger and the plight of her children. The bull's eyes softened. "I will make you a deal," he said. "If you water the orchard and care for it every day, you may have food in return." Kameli hesitated. Work? Every day? That would take her entire time and energy. She thought of her cozy naps, the comfort of idleness, and the tempting ease of free food. With a scoff, she refused the bull's offer and walked away, her hooves aching with each step. Further along, she spotted a house. 2 goats were munching contentedly in the yard, their coats shiny and healthy. Surely, these were kindred spirits who would share food without asking. Kameli approached, her voice polite but hopeful. "Please, may I have some food for my children?" The resident goats shook their heads. "We give milk to our owner daily, and only then do we receive food. Nothing comes for free," they explained. Before Kameli could protest, the owner, Hariya, stepped out. "Where are you from, and why are you wandering here?" he asked. Kameli poured out her tale of hunger, desperation, and weary children. Hariya nodded thoughtfully. "I can feed you," he said. "But only if you give milk daily, as the others do. Hard work earns reward." Kameli's ears drooped. She could not bear the thought of daily toil. I cannot," she whispered, turning away with a heavy heart. The weight of her laziness seemed trivial compared to her children's suffering, but pride and fear of hard work chained her to her stubborn ways. Eventually, she came upon a barren field with scattered crops. Here, she thought, I can eat freely. No one will stop me. Camille began devouring the crops greedily, tearing and eating with abandon, saving only a fraction for her children. Once her belly was full, she rested under the shade of a tree, exhausted but satisfied, at least for now. But satisfaction was short-lived. Chiman, the field's owner, appeared. His eyes blazed with anger as he saw his crops destroyed. Without hesitation, he tied Camille to a tree, scolding her for her theft. Camille begged for mercy, but Chiman's heart was unyielding. She was left there, bound and hungry, her children waiting in vain at home. 3 long days passed. Camille's children, tiny and helpless, worried endlessly. Where is our mother? They wondered. Has she gone to sleep forever? She is lazy, but we love her. We hope she returns soon. Meanwhile, Camille's strength waned. She could barely move when a small, clever mouse appeared. Camille pleaded, explaining the danger to her children and her own despair. Initially, the mouse refused, unwilling to risk itself. But when Camille invoked Lord Gunputty's name, appealing to compassion and honor, the mouse finally freed her, cutting the ropes that bound her. Freed, Camille raced home with food, only to find her children missing. Panic gripped her. Hours passed as she searched, retracing her steps, calling their names, and seeking help from anyone who could guide her. Finally, she returned to the bull's orchard. The bull recognized her and revealed that her children had come looking for her 2 days earlier, only to be frightened away by shame when told of their mother's laziness. Camille's heart shattered. Every step she had taken, every shortcut she had chosen, had brought her children to danger. She wept bitter tears, realizing the full consequence of her inaction. If only she had accepted the bull's or Haria's offer, worked diligently, and earned her sustenance honestly, her children would have been safe. Desperate and grief-stricken, she returned to Chiman's field, offering herself to punishment, claiming she no longer wished to live. Chiman was stunned, but upon seeing her sincerity, his heart softened. Before any punishment could be delivered, a familiar chorus of voices reached her ears. Turning around, she saw her 3 children alive and well. The mouse, her unexpected savior, had protected them from a fearsome lion that threatened their lives. Relief and joy overwhelmed Camille. She embraced them, vowing never to take shortcuts or avoid responsibility again. Haria, seeing the transformation, welcomed Camille to work diligently in his fields. Now you understand, he said gently. Those who labor earn life's rewards. Laziness brings only despair. Camille nodded, her children cheering at her newfound wisdom. From that day forward, Camille and her children worked together, sowing, tending, and harvesting, sharing meals earned through their own effort, and living in harmony and joy. The tale of Camille, once lazy and careless, became a cherished story in Gungupur, a reminder that responsibility, hard work, and care for one's family are priceless treasures that no shortcut can replace. And so, Camille and her children thrived, their days filled with labor, laughter, and love, having learned the most valuable lesson of all: honest effort sustains life, and love guided by responsibility protects it.